I'm Allie with Potomac Beads. Join me in making this Crystal Bow Bracelet, which would also look great as a pair of earrings or as a necklace. Remember to look around in your stash and check out what you have available to create this fun and simple right angle weave design. If you do need any materials from the beginning list, check out the links below us to shop with us online. So to begin, we are going to keep our cup button off to the side, and I have an Aztec gold cup button, and I have some gray Wildfire beading thread, some .006, and on that I have a size 11 bead acting as a stop bead, which we are eventually going to take off. So you want to make sure that you're using it in a color that is not one of your project. You're going to pick up 4 of your 80 seed beads, and I'm using the galvanized gold in the Miyuki brand. And you're going to take your needle and thread after leaving yourself about 10 inches after that stop thread back through the first 3 of those beads and bring your needle out between bead 3 and 4. What I want to do now is add some 15s in, and when I'm working with the right angle weave and the gold section, I want to use the metallic brown iris in the 15 Miyuki brand seed bead. You're going to add a bead, sew through the next gold bead, add a bead, sew through the next gold. This is not a necessity, it's just kind of a nice color pop that works with the design. Add a bead, sew through. So basically what this is doing is establishing a 15 seed bead between each one of my 80 seed beads. Sew through the last 80 and bring your thread and needle out. Give a nice tight pull, and then you have that first right angle weave section done. From here, what we're going to do is go in and add in our crystals. These are 5mm crystals with a 5 on top. I'm going to be using 6mm crystals, and then we're using those nice bright white 4mm pearls on the top, so you can really see how it changes in design and look. From here, what you're going to do is grab one of your 6mm bicones, and these are in a Swarovski retired color of Morian. Grab another 80 seed bead, Swarovski, 80 seed bead, Swarovski, and we're doing right angle weave, so we're going to do this again 4 times. So we have 4 beads put on with an 80 seed bead between each one. Let me let that drop down from my thread here. Take your thread and needle, go back through the same 80 seed bead that your thread is coming out of. Do a nice tight pull, and you can see you get that right angle weave unit in right there. Now what we're going to do is add one of our little pearls to the middle. So I've jumped ahead a couple of our little connection here of the bows, and what I'm going to do is show you again how to add that pearl in the middle, and also it's repetitive. It's the exact same thing over and over. So when you're coming out of that 80 seed bead, you want to go back up through that first 6mm bicone, the first 80 seed bead, through the second 6mm bicone, and through the second 80 seed bead. So you're coming out basically between those 2 corner beads. We are going to add in our Duracoat galvanized champagne 4 of our 15s and 1 of our 4mm pearls. Now keep in mind, remember you can do it with 5mm beads and 5mm bicones. There's lots of different options. Go ahead then also and add 5 more of your 15s in that champagne color. You're coming out of the bottom of that 80 seed bead. We're going to skip over to the bottom of the 80 that sits across from it and go up through it, so we're coming out the top. This is going to force that pearl and those beads to kind of sit towards the top of our crystals. Add 4 more 15s, and you're going to share that bead. So we're going to go back through the pearl with our needle going from our stop bead away from towards the progression of the project. Give a nice tight pull to make sure that those seed beads kind of cooperate and sit down. 4 more 15s go on. And then you're going to sew through that 15 or that 80 seed bead that your thread was originally coming out from the top towards the bottom. It is that simple. Now we're on repeat. So we're back to the beginning where we had the 1 bead on. We're going to add 3 more beads. They go around in a circle, going back through that bead there for that right angle weave. Coming out there, add in your 15s between each one. It's just one of those little metallic bronze or brown iris between each one. And again, these are not a necessity, but I think they add that nice little kind of darker color in, go back through that first 8-0 that your thread was coming out of. And when you go through that first 8-0 that your thread was coming out of here, what you're going to do to get back to the point that you add your crystals, skip over the 15s and just go through the next 2 gold 8-0 seed beads. Here again, we're starting that same pattern over with a crystal, 8-0 seed bead, crystal. Grab some more of these here. Another seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal. Back to this section where we're going back through the 8-0 seed bead that your thread came out of. And then again to the beginning of this clip to add the pearls, going back through the first 2 crystals along with the seed beads and out through that seed bead that sits across from our right angle weave connection point. Once you get here, again, it's the same thing over and over and over again, working with those crystals and the pearls to make this into the length of a necklace or bracelet that you desire. Once you have your desired length and amount, and when you're looking at it, about 8 of the little packages or the little crystal bows will work for you. 8 to 9 depending on your wrist. So I have a cup button here that I'm going to add to the end, and I'm coming out one of my right angle weave sections, and I'm going to add onto my thread 3 of my 15-0s in my darker color. I'm going to go up through my cup button. When I get to the top of the cup button, what I want to do is add 1 15, one of my 4mm pearls. If you happen to have a 3mm pearl in the same color, it will actually work really well. It sits down a little bit more. And then go back through the button to the other side. Pull it so that that pearl is just kind of sitting inside there, just right on its edge. Coming out the back then, I want you to do 3 more 15s. And you'll notice that when you put on the first 3 15s, you are coming out probably the top of your 8-0 seed bead. You're going to sew into the bottom towards the top as you add these last 3. That gets that button on there. I'm going to reinforce the button by going back up through those 3 seed beads, up through the cup button, and when you get to the top of the cup button, also try to get through those seed beads. Go through the pearl, which again you kind of want to lay on its side, back down through the other side to the bottom, through those seed beads, and out. That's going to get you 2 times through that cup button to work as a nice kind of extra support. And then what I'm going to do is sew back into the project to get rid of my thread. Go back down along that right angle weave. You can see I'm to the back of it. Again, also a reversible bracelet, and if you want it to be both sides decorated, if you're doing a necklace and you don't want it to flip, keep in mind you can do the exact same thing to the other side. This is also, like I just mentioned, a great necklace pattern too. It's really flexible with these seed bead sizes that you're using, crystal sizes, kind of everything is a win. Going back through now, I'm coming back down to the bottom of one of my last little crystal presents with the bow on it. I'm going to sew underneath that bridge thread, sew my needle through that loop, and do a nice tight knot around there. Sew back a little further into the design, and then burn off my thread end. Take your thread zap or your thread burner, and burn off that thread end, and then we go to the other side to put a loop on and take off our stop bead. On the other side, when it's time to put on the loop for the cup button, what I'm doing is coming out of my last one of my 8-0 seed beads there, just like I did on the other side. And what I'm going to do on this side actually is grab my 3 15-0s in the darker color. Then I'm going to grab a pearl. Then what I'm going to do is grab a bunch of my gold 15-0s. Look at about 28 to 30 of them. And I'm putting them right onto that thread. And I love this Morian color because it really does match with everything. It's almost like a gray. It's like a deep gray. Has a little bit on the tint of blue. Really pretty color. And after you have on all of your seed beads, and you know that your loop is going to fit around your cup button, we're going to share and go back through that pearl to mimic what we did along the tops of the crystals. 2 more on there, 3 for good measure. Okay, so we're going back through that pearl so that it's coming down towards the piece, sharing the pearl. Give it a nice tight pull. Add 3 more of my darker 15s. Back through that 8/0 seed bead, just like we did on the other side when we added the button, through the opposite direction. That creates a little V there and has our nice loop for our button to sit inside of. I'm going to reinforce going back through all of these beads and the thread as well as the pearl, and then come back down and tie off the thread so this Crystal Bows bracelet is completed. I usually like to show it after the bracelet is made so you can see this Crystal Bows piece. Again, beautiful for a necklace, beautiful for earrings, beautiful bracelet, just a really, really nice, simple design. And again, that maureen color is amazing. The best thing about this bracelet is that you really can use almost any materials to make this beautiful Crystal Bows bracelet. You can use 4mm, you can use 5mm, you can use 6, 7, 8. All that's going to change a little bit is some of those counts of the 15/0 seed beads, but you're sticking mainly to that right angle weave. Again, if you need any supplies, remember there are links below me to PotomacBeads.com as well as PotomacBeads.eu. Remember also give a little thumbs up. Tell us what you designed and what you made with this crystal inspiration, as well as hit that little bell in the corner and make sure to subscribe to us here at Potomac Beads so you don't miss any of the latest and greatest beading news. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and enjoy making your Crystal Bows bracelets.